I, 31 female, have been in a relationship with my boyfriend, 35, for 3 years. We have very different socio-economic backgrounds. I'm normal and his family is minted. But despite that, we get along really well, and so do our separate friendship circles. The only exception is Stephanie, 35 female, one of my boyfriend's oldest friends. She doesn't like me at all, and since I've known Jamie, the boyfriend, she's made little digs about my accent and the region I'm from. This doesn't bother me, I'm comfortable with who I am, and the place I'm from is pretty great anyway, so she can say whatever she likes, but the way she says it is pretty mean. She tends to do this out of earshot of my boyfriend, but when he does hear it, he defends me, and I'll make a joke to lighten the tension. I've asked Jamie if they were ever involved, as this is the only reason I think she wouldn't like me, totally discounting the idea that it might be my personality, and he says no. Anyway, 2 weekends ago I went out for dinner with my brother while he was in town for a conference. I booked a place at a nice restaurant, and when we got there it was comically romantic, and the server seated us in this little cubby of a corner with a candle huddled together. About halfway through the meal, I go to the toilet. When I came back, my brother told me some bloke had just come up to him to ask if we were together, as in a couple, and he said yes because he thought it was weird, and he wondered if the guy was going to hit on me if we weren't a couple or something. I asked who it was, and he said he'd left right after. It was weird, but we just finished our meals and laughed about it. I told my boyfriend about it when we returned to the flat, and we laughed. A couple of days later, Stephanie's over at ours, and she waits until my boyfriend goes to the shop for wine, and then outright tells me with a huge smirk that she saw me with another man, and her husband confirmed he was another boyfriend. I was going to correct her and explain, but that smirk made me so angry, so I just said, "Please don't tell Jamie," expecting that she would, and that when she did, it'd be hilarious. I then told Jamie what she'd said and done once she'd left, and he thought it would be hilarious. I was correct that she'd tell Jamie, but it wasn't hilarious. Last Saturday at a mutual friend's birthday, everyone was there, including Stephanie. After a few drinks, she loudly announces that she has proof I'm cheating on Jamie because she saw my boyfriend and me in a restaurant. Jamie just looked at her and said that was her brother. It was so awkward. Everyone went silent, Stephanie's husband pulled her away, and they left the birthday. In hindsight, if I put her right, that wouldn't have happened. We wouldn't have ruined our other friend's birthday, and now no one is even talking to Stephanie. Am I the idiot? Should I apologize? If she was a true friend to your SO, she'd have told him in private right away. She didn't. She waited until she thought it was prime time to humiliate you, her gotcha moment. In my honest opinion, that makes her not only vindictive towards you, but a crappy friend to your SO. She clearly didn't have his best interests at heart, but wanted to capitalize on her dislike for you. Not the idiot. She hung herself. Pretty freaking glorious. I also dig the way your SO isn't putting up with any of his friends' BS. Also, I'm guessing this isn't the first incident of pot stirring on Stephanie's part. Because no one is talking to her seems like a good indication they're tired of her crap. And also, to my mind, your brother's instincts were right. A random dude comes up and asks if you're taken, and you don't have time to say much, it's safer to say, yeah. Stephanie deliberately waited until a large gathering to maximize your embarrassment, despite the fact that it would ruin another friend's birthday party. She deserved to have it blow up in her own face. By the way, you aren't the one who ruined the birthday. That's 100% on Stephanie. She got exactly what she deserved. LOL, that was great. Well played. So I, 30 male, have a preschool son with my best friend Samantha, 31 female. It's important to provide the context here, so I'll try my best to explain it. Samantha and I met in college and instantly became really good friends. She's a super outgoing person, while I tend to be a little more on the quiet side, which worked perfectly for our dynamic and has made co-parenting easy. We never had any feelings for each other. I did a little bit, but was so far into the friend zone at that point it didn't matter. So 5 years ago, Samantha had just got cheated on by her longtime college boyfriend. She was staying at my place for the time being. We were hanging out one night like usual and drinking. I couldn't even tell you how it happened, but somehow we ended up being intimate. The next morning she was gone with all her stuff and told me she was moving in with her dad. She completely ghosted me for 2 months. During this time I got in a bad state, quit taking care of myself and gained at least 70 pounds. I was drinking far too much. Well, as you can tell, she got pregnant. I did a paternity test first thing. Kid's mine. We decided to keep the baby and co-parent. It's honestly been the best decision of my life. I love my kid and our friendship has gotten back to normal. Sam and I and our kid frequently hang out together and have no custody agreement. Regarding dating, Sam casually sees someone, but I don't really ask about it. So the past year I've rededicated myself to myself. I've lost a lot of weight this past year and quit drinking. It's been fantastic for my health. I started seeing someone I met on an app and we're getting pretty serious. So last weekend, Samantha had our son and I took a day trip to hike with my girlfriend. I posted a selfie with her on Instagram and was immediately called by Samantha, grilling me on who that was. I explained that I was seeing someone. She asked if she'd met our son yet and I said yes, but they don't spend much time around each other because mostly it's just whenever my girl stays the night. Sometimes my son will see her around the house. Samantha lost it. She was calling me a piece of crap for not informing her and not telling her what was going on in my life. I responded, kind of like you did when you ghosted our friendship. She just called me an idiot and hung up. My sister thinks I was the idiot, but I don't think I'm obligated to inform her of all my life happenings. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot, and the fact that you need to be told shows you have minimal, if any, respect for her as your child's mother. She deserves to know who is around her child, and trying to act like the issue is her dating is comical. Can't stand selfish parents like this. Agree. Some things change if a child is involved because untold things can lead to psychological harm, and it seems to me she was upset not that you're dating someone, but that you presented your girlfriend to the child without warning the mother first, and that can be the cause of problems, especially in a case of shared custody. Going against the grain to say, not the idiot. If she isn't introducing you to her guys around your child, you don't have to either. However, your relationship is about to get volatile, so get prepared. I'm betting she's enjoyed having you solo as a friend and never expected you to date. She sees you as a safety net. This chick may be a good friend, but she's got poor control over her emotions. An adult with good emotional regulation doesn't ghost an old friend for 2 months, or light into their ex for being an ex and dating other people. He isn't obligated to tell her anything. She's just jealous. OP, you need to see a lawyer and make sure your custody claims are solid, and to firm up your custody agreement. I have 2 children, Laurel, 24, and Kevin, teen. Laurel is from my first marriage. Kevin and my wife think I favour Laurel, but that's not true. They've complained about it over the years, but now it's at a boiling point. The most recent complaint is that I gave her a free house. None of their accusations have ever been true, but this one isn't. I've been with the same company for over 35 years. Decades ago, my job made me and several other employees travel to their HQ so often that they bought us condos in the home city because it was cheaper at the time than constantly paying for hotels. At the time, property in the city was cheap, so we had free use, but technically the company owned them and they paid all expenses. In 2020, all business travel stopped. At the time, Laurel was moving to that city with her new husband, and they were looking for a place. Because it was just sitting empty and would be for a long time, I told her they could live in the condo until things went back to normal. It would be safe and clean, and it would give them a chance to save money for a better place of their own, as they were expecting their first child. In 2021, 2 things happened. The company decided to shut down all physical offices for a permanent WFH, and I decided to take my retirement. After closing the physical offices, they wanted to get rid of the condos, so they offered them to us at an extreme discount. I didn't want it, but Laurel did. She and her husband offered to pay the cost, and I let them. It was less than a quarter of the market cost, but it wasn't free or a gift to her. Kevin realizes there will not be anything like that for him, and he rages about it. He claims I've always done things like this, and that I gave her a house but I'm probably going to kick him out at 18 like every American parent. My wife is on his side and angry about this, and that I let Laurel be a stay-at-home mother and not her. None of these things are true. I didn't give her a free house. I let her buy one for a discount because she happened to be buying at the exact time there was any opportunity for one. Also, she got to be a stay-at-home mother because she happened to be having a baby at the only time in modern history that required people to stay home, not because I was funding her. I realise how it must look, but she just ended up doing things in special situations with unique opportunities. I don't think I'm in the wrong here because I don't treat my children differently. If I happen to come across an opportunity for Kevin to do the same with the same, I will make sure he's aware, but I can't imagine I would. Not the idiot. But honestly, I feel like your wife is the source of what Kevin is spewing out. What teen boy cares about housing? What evidence do your wife and son have that you will stop supporting him at 18? It seems like your wife is using Kevin to try and get you to buy a property in his or her name to even the scoring between Kevin and Laurel. My thoughts exactly. There isn't any way a teen on their own would suddenly realize there's not going to be anything like that for him. I can't get my head around the entitlement here. You are the idiot. The fact that both your wife and Kevin notice the favoritism probably means that it isn't just in their heads. The condo thing is pretty bad, to be honest. Yes, it is a good opportunity for the daughter, but it is so grossly unfair to both the wife and Kevin. You could have bought the condo, flipped it, rented it out, etc. That money could have gone towards a myriad of things for you, your entire family, put aside for Kevin's college, etc. But instead, you gave your daughter a place to live at a steep discount. That helps nobody but her. The reason it looks bad is because it is pretty obvious that you favour Laurel. So, OP should kick out his daughter with a newborn during a global issue from a property that doesn't belong to him because a mid-teen is throwing a tantrum? Nice. Laurel wanted to buy a house, and OP had the opportunity to get her one at a discount, so he did. How is denying Laurel the opportunity just because you can't provide Kevin with the same opportunity fair? My female 27 friend of 15 years, Aaron, male 30, passed away a few weeks ago. He wasn't married nor had a family. I'm the one responsible for his belongings and his apartment. I keep the key with me to visit the apartment every weekend to check on it. My boyfriend noticed and asked for a copy of the key to the apartment. I was utterly confused by his request. I asked what for, since he and Aaron weren't even that close, given that he and I had been dating for 6 months. He got offended and accused me of gatekeeping Aaron's memory. I said I was sorry, but Aaron's apartment has valuable stuff that I cannot risk missing, and besides, what business could he possibly have there? He got offended and accused me of implying that he's untrustworthy and a thief. I tried to cut the argument, but he kept going on about how I hurt his feelings and showed incredible distrust towards him. He went home, but the texting kept going. Finally, he's insisting, saying if I trust, I have to let him have a key copy. Am I the idiot for not giving it to him? Or am I being unreasonable and paranoid? Not the idiot. Trust your instincts. Do not give him a copy of the key and do not leave it where he can access it. This is a major red flag and it's time to reevaluate your relationship. He's gaslighting you about your friend who died to access his things. This is not a good guy. Accuse me of gatekeeping Aaron's memory? What the heck? And now we get to accuse your boyfriend of gaslighting. Please do not give him or any other idiot a key. He's gaslighting you into believing you're the bad guy for your instincts kicking in and telling you something shady could happen if you give him the key, but as you know, you're in the right here. I second this. What does he want in that apartment? Why the weird attitude? You just lost your best friend. He should be helping you through this, not pushing you to do something you don't want to do. You've known this friend for 15 years. Your boyfriend of 6 months has no reason to be in this person's home, with or without you, unless you want him there. Ditch the loser. He asked because he wanted to steal things, throw a party, bring chicks there, or simply test the limits with you. Therefore, do not give him a copy of the key and keep the one you have secured. It's not about trust. I can be trusted not to steal from a bank vault, but it doesn't mean I need a key to the thing. I know it may be a hassle, but I'd even be setting up a camera there until you've done dealing with it. And maybe don't have this boyfriend anymore. My wife and daughter, Natalie, 20 female, get along all right now. However, from about the time Natalie was a mid-teen until she was 18, they didn't. Some of it was teen angst, but most of it was my wife being too hard on Natalie and placing her dreams on her. In these arguments, I often took Natalie's side and told my wife why, standing up for Natalie every time. Eventually, my wife and Natalie sought out therapy. My wife realized she had a lot of stuff from her childhood that she was transferring onto our daughter. She's apologized and tried to do better since, but things are, of course, fragile. Natalie attends college and lives in the dorms. However, as she's only 2 hours away, she does come home occasionally and did so this past weekend. She's currently looking for a job around where she attends college, but has had some trouble finding one that will fit her schedule. She has classes at odd hours, so she can only work weekends and many places in the area want more commitment. As it also happens, my wife has her own business, and right now, because of the economy, business is slow. Natalie made herself lunch on Sunday and left a mess in her wake. My wife asked her to clean it up. Natalie did so but rushed through it by her own admission, leaving a bit of a mess. My wife got irritated and asked her to finish. As Natalie was heading into the kitchen, my wife muttered, "I can see why you can't find a job." Natalie asked what she'd just said, and my wife repeated herself. Natalie was clearly hurt and replied, "I wouldn't talk about my lack of a job. Aren't you hurting for clients right now?" My wife flipped. She told Natalie she couldn't speak to her that way. How dare she talk about her career? She then started saying if Natalie has so many smart comments about her business, she can be cut off financially. We pay for her schooling, including dorm fees, textbooks, and stock her mini-fridge. That's when I stepped in and asked my wife to come with me to our room. I said she could be upset by Natalie's comment, but we're not cutting her off financially. 1, that's not a choice she can make on her own. 2, I don't feel the comment warrants it. Was it overstepping? Maybe, but at the time, she did make a comment about Natalie's lack of a job when it had nothing to do with what she was upset about. My wife says I should stand by her and back her up. She pointed out that Natalie had asked us for money to load her mini-fridge. We typically do this once a month, and she wasn't going to give it to her now. I said I would. My wife refused to say goodbye to Natalie when she left. Once she did, we got into a huge argument where my wife told me that I was supposed to take her side. Am I the idiot? Why is your grown, business-operating, supposedly mature wife antagonizing her daughter? Is she purposefully running for the Most Jealous Mom of the Year award? Not the idiot. You're due for a serious chat with your wife. Your wife made a rude comment and is angry that your daughter matched her energy. The more significant issue here is that your wife's response is disproportionate and has the potential to damage her relationship with your daughter permanently. Hopefully, she continues with therapy and works through it. Therapy didn't work. She just learned better techniques for hiding her manipulation and projection. Mom is an unrepentant mean girl who can't even get over herself long enough to see she's hurting someone she supposedly loves. Her disproportionate response speaks volumes. She can dish it out, but can't take it and plays the victim. No wonder her clients don't come back.